Let's talk planDisney. Hi, I'm Bryanna and welcome to the vlog that I think a lot of you have been looking for. We're gonna be talking about planDisney and the search process. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I actually create content around living this 20-something lifestyle, and I am excited that you are here today. So I'm gonna be sharing a little bit about what planDisney is. And some of you who have found this video, you've probably found it because you are looking to become a planDisney panelist in the future. If you aren't looking to become a planDisney panelist in the future, no worries. This will be helpful to you too, because you will learn about a new resource that you can use if you are planning a Disney vacation. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about what planDisney is. I'm also gonna share my experience as a planDisney panelist, and I'm gonna give you 5 helpful tips for all of you hopefuls out there who want to become a planDisney panelist or just want to be the best planDisney panelist you can be. So stick around for those towards the end of this video. All right, let's get into it. What is planDisney? planDisney is a helpful resource that shares tips for planning your best Disney parks vacation. planDisney also consists of a group of panelists who are big Disney parks fans and are super knowledgeable about all things Walt Disney World, Disneyland, and Disney Cruise Line. We are guests who are sharing our experiences and tips with other guests. And the really cool thing about planDisney is that you can do this virtually from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. Now that we know what planDisney is, I'm gonna talk about my application story. So years ago on Instagram, I saw the Disney Moms panel and I was like, wow, I can't wait in the future to be a part of the Moms panel. It seems like such a cool opportunity, and literally just went on about my day, and I kind of like saw them through different videos and things along those lines. And then let's fast forward to 2021, in the fall, I saw that planDisney was looking for new panelists, and they're one and the same. The name changed, and so I was like, okay, this could be the opportunity for me to just apply and see what happens. So the first part was just a lot of short answer questions, getting to know me and different things like that. And so once I submitted it, I was like, okay, you know, I did it, awesome, like go on with life. And then I get this email weeks later, and it said that I had advanced to the next round. Honestly, I was like, what? Out of all of these different people who have applied, I made it in. So once I got that email saying, hey, you've moved on to the next round, I had to think about, obviously, the next round, which consisted of some more questions, but then also there was the 60-second video that I had to include. And so I just started recording, and it was really, really exciting to record, but a little bit daunting, because I was like, oh my goodness, this is the 60 seconds that's going to show the team, hey, who is Bryanna? So I am sharing a little bit of that video right now, but yeah, I remember literally recording for hours to get this thing right. It was only 60 seconds, but you know, the perfectionist in me, it had to be perfect. I literally remember doing it with my husband because he was stopping and starting the camera for me, and it was a process. To be fully transparent, it took about 2.5 hours to get those 60 seconds. A few weeks after that second round submission, I received an email saying that I had moved on to the final round. I was shooketh, to say the least. I was like, what? I've actually moved on. So after that second round, moved to the third round, and this was just an interview with the planDisney team. And honestly, this was like the most fun because you actually got to speak with different people, and it was just super exciting to just talk with them and just share my Disney experience, talk about why I love Disney so much and why I would be a great panelist. And so let's fast forward a little while. I ended up getting this email and they said, hey, you know, we want to do another interview with you. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, we're having this other interview. And once I got on the call, this happened. And y'all, I was beaming from ear to ear all day. So this was the first time that I was applying to be on the panel, and I actually got it. I was like, wow, God is so good. So after that, there was actually, my husband actually overheard the call while it was happening. And so he actually recorded me and got like this video of me jumping up and down and like super excited, obviously, because I have made the panel. So that is my planDisney search story. So hopefully my story was a little bit helpful to you and gives you the encouragement that you can do it. Even if it's your first time, your fifth time, you know, whatever. Do it, apply, because you never know what magic might happen. All right, remember at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you 5 different tips that have helped me be a successful planDisney panelist, so stick around. Now, let's talk a little bit about my experience as a planDisney panelist. Y'all, first, let me just say that this was honestly a dream come true. To go from seeing it on social media and then actually being able to be a part of the panelist family and it coming to fruition was just so amazing. And so after I received the news that I was going to be a planDisney panelist, weeks later we had a training, and so that was where I got to meet all of the new planDisney panelists for 2022, and this was such a fun time. Not just because of the things that we did, but because of the people that I was around. Like, it is different when you have a new planDisney family or a new friend group, honestly, that loves Disney, because you can just talk about different things and share your different Disney experiences, and that was so rewarding to me and super duper exciting. And remember, these are different people from all different avenues of life, and it's just like you're all coming together under this one joy and love for Disney, and it's just a different type of experience. So remember, first and foremost, that your role as a planDisney panelist, you are answering different guest questions, which is super exciting just because like you get to share your knowledge. And so this, I would say, is 95% of what you are doing as a panelist. And remember, you can do it from anywhere. Your answers should be unique because every guest's question is going to be unique. So keep that in mind as you're going through this search process. If you found this video and you're actually not applying to be a planDisney panelist, but you want to ask the planDisney panelists different questions, you can go to the link down in the description below and you can ask me or a plethora of other panelists different questions, whether it's Walt Disney World Resort, which is my specialty, or Disneyland Resort, or even Disney Cruise Line. So I'm gonna leave that below for you to ask those questions. So that other portion of what you might be doing as a planDisney panelist can be things like making different content or doing, you know, just creative things in your specialty. Also, I got to be a part of the first planDisney podcast where we were talking about all things spring break related, and we got to actually record it in Typhoon Lagoon when there was no crowd whatsoever. So that was a very unique experience. So if you would like to watch that podcast, I'll drop the link down below as well. And shout out to Amira, our host, who is amazing. And she was a former planDisney panelist, as well as Mandy and Doug, who were the other panelists on that video. And it was just super fun to record. And I know I keep saying super fun and cool and things, but that is the way that I feel about this experience. It has been honestly once in a lifetime. If you've made it to the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a round of applause because I know this is what you've been waiting for. The 5 different tips that I would give, you know, to someone who is looking at the planDisney search, but also how to be a successful panelist. So I'm not gonna make you wait any longer. Let's get into it. Tip number 1, Be yourself. And this applies to the search, this applies to being a successful panelist. Just be yourself. You're the only you in the world, and so you could be the missing puzzle piece to the planDisney panelist family. So be authentic in your answers when you're interviewing, and your questions when you're doing search. Just be yourself. Enough said there. Tip number 2, always review your work. Attention to detail is so important as a planDisney panelist. And let's just start out with the search portion. You definitely need to, review your answers ahead of time before you press submit on that application, because you don't want to have any spelling errors or punctuation mistakes, extra spacing, what have you. You want to make sure that it is to the best of your abilities. So remember to review. And this is something that I do as a current planDisney panelist, and making sure there are no mistakes. Now, everybody makes mistakes. We are not perfect. But if you review your answers, you will be able to catch those mistakes and, then submit it on. So review your work. Tip number 3, use time management. And this is so important because there's so much research and planning and things that go into my answers as a planDisney panelist. And I know when you're applying, you're taking a ton of time to do your application. So remember that it takes a lot of time. This is a good time to think about your current life and the time commitment that it takes to be a planDisney panelist. So do you have a few extra hours in your day to be able to answer these guest questions? Keep that in mind and be real with yourself when you're doing this self-evaluation. In full transparency, my first question as a panelist took me over an hour to write. And yes, I know that sounds like a ton of time. And of course, I got quicker at it as the months and weeks progressed. But it took some time. So I currently get up at 4 a.m. I get up very early to answer my questions because that's the way that my schedule allows it. And remember, time management is going to be key in being a successful planDisney panelist. And when you're doing that application for search, give yourself enough time to answer the questions. That way they can be the best that you can submit. All right, tip number 4, stay up to date with what's happening in the Disney community. So Disney Parks blog is a really, really great resource to understand all the different things that are happening across all the Disney parks and things along those lines. I think this year in 2022, there were so many different things that were happening. In Walt Disney World, you had the 50th anniversary celebration still going on, the Disney Cruise Line, the christening of the new ship Disney Wish. And then at Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort, you had shows coming back, different snacks and things along those lines. So as a panelist, you have to stay up to date with all of the different happenings, and that will help you as you go through your search process and, as you're a panelist potentially in the future. And here we are at tip number 5, have fun. And this is super simple, but it has to be said. Have fun with your search process, and of course have fun as a panelist. These months have flown by, but I've just taken the time to stop and smell the roses and actually enjoy the fact that I got to be a panelist, and I'm making this dream come true. So it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, so count it as an honor and have fun with it. There's only a small subset of planDisney panelists that are in this world right now, so you get to be a part of that community. And remember that when you have fun with it, it'll come through in your answers, whether that's on the application process or, if you were to become a planDisney panelist, your answer will seem fun and exciting and things along those lines. So just have fun with it. All right, that is it for this video. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much for watching. And I hope this was helpful to all of you planDisney hopefuls out there. If you have more questions that I can answer, you can drop them in the comments below. You can send me a DM on Instagram. If I can answer the question, I'm gonna be more than happy to answer it for you. Sending you all the peace, blessings, and of course some pixie dust as you plan to go on this search process in the future. See you real soon in my next video. Bye.